Right, time for another long overdue video. Just never seem to have time to do this stuff anymore. As you see, I'm on the Africa Twin, out on some country roads, heading to Eungella today. So I've been there on my other bikes, just haven't been there on the Africa Twin for some reason. Usually it's I go there a bit on my bikes, but haven't been on the Africa Twin yet. We'll take it today. I've also got a drone, so I picked one up just around New Year's, so see if I can get some footage on the drone too, since Eungella's at the top of a valley, so should get some pretty good shots if I can find a spot to fly it from, if there's nothing in the way. Having a few issues with the GoPro, it's freezing up, so gonna be pretty annoyed if I don't get any decent footage. So I left home pretty early. It's been really hot lately, so left home about 6:30. It's now 20 to 8. I've still got a little bit to go to get there. I'll hopefully get up there, muck around for a bit, and get home. It's all bitumen till you get up there, and then there's a fair few dirt roads up there, so go up the bitumen. It's a nice bitumen road, get winding through the national park and all that, and then yeah, I'll see if I can go around some of the dirt roads, try not to get too lost. And up there, I don't know if it comes through on the GoPro makes everything look further away. Right at the top of the hill there is pretty much where I'm going, or the start of where I'm going. There's a big range that goes all the way up there, so pretty fun, winding road, but there's a lot of cattle grids on it though, to let water and that through, so you can't fly through it if you're on a sports bike too much, because yeah, the cattle grids will mess you up. It's messed up a lot of people, so let's have a look. So Eungella is a really old area. A lot of like farming happens up here for dairy. I think there's a few actual beef cows and that up here too. Was a big industry for logging and forestry, like back in the day. Can't imagine how hard it would have been working in this location, well, probably 100 years ago. Clearing everything by hand. I think this road would be awesome in a really small, nimble car. So you can see a lot of the roads come back onto themselves. Hoping, probably on the way back, I can find somewhere to stop and fly the drone and out into the valley. I just got to see where there's any nasty trees or power lines and that. I'm still new to flying the drone, so don't want to go too crazy with it. Too expensive to break. First cattle grid. About half a dozen of them on the way up here. So now we're really getting into the rainforesty area. pretty hard to see how steep things are on a GoPro, another cattle grid. This is, you can probably hear the bike labouring a bit. It shows you how sort of steep it is coming up here. I don't know what grade it is. Another cattle grid. Waterfall looking thing here. Probably see a bit into the valley now, sort of how high up we are. Up here is usually a lot cooler than in town, just due to being up in the valley. There'd be a good spot to fly the drone from, I think. Close to the top now. Couple power lines here, so I have to be careful which spot I pick if I'm going to fly. And then we're pretty much up the top here. So up here is the chalet. This is the place you can see from the bottom of the hill. It's a very old place, really good for lunches and that, pretty popular on the weekend. 776 metres up according to the GPS, so pretty big climb to get up here. Broken River. So yeah, there's all campsites and bushwalks and stuff through here. We go this way. This is a loop, credited in State Forest. There's a campground here in an old hall. This was, I think this might have been like the centre of the logging industry when it was thriving up here. So here's campground, Crediton Hall. Obviously a very old building. So there you go. It would take 3 to 5 days to walk 56 kilometres to do all the walks that are up here. I'm not fit enough to do that. Farmers arrived in 1935. Lease conditions demanded that 75 acres of scrub be felled in the first 3 years. There you go, and then the land was used for dairy cattle. So imagine how hard that would have been doing most of the work by hand. So this hall and the school, so it's two buildings joined that weren't originally together. They were built in the 40s. So they've endured a lot up here. Wonder if I could fly the drone from here. I got a little bit of drone footage, just up as high as I can go and have a look at a couple of the surrounding properties and a bit around the hall. So now I'm going to go complete the rest of the loop. So this is the road that goes to the dam. It's a really popular camping spot. You take ski boats, you can fish in there. I've only been with someone who was fishing once and I only caught one fish. It took a while to get it, so I'm not sure how good the fishing is, fresh water. So this is where a lot of the water is supplied from to the area. It's, the campground's run by the water company. So there's your turn off into the campground, and that's the pipeline road. Heads that way. That's all dirt road most of the way. Four-wheel drive access only. I've heard this road's pretty rough. Never been all the way through it. That keeps going all the way up to Collinsville, I think. Anyway, this is to the lookout. This is a lot better than I remember it. At least this part. It's fairly rocky, I believe. Fucking rat shit this looks. Jeez, that looks fucking shit. Ta-da! And I didn't break the bike, so that's good. So I've only been up to this lookout once before with the KLR. That was pretty rough too, but I think it's worse now. So this is Eungella Dam. I camped just over there a week ago. Very quiet. Usually it's a lot of people camped out, but being a Monday, no one around. So look through this side. Very big. Let's see if I might be able to get the drone out if I can find somewhere safe to take off. some, well, I think is going to be pretty good drone footage. Now let's go back down. It should be easier. Let's turn that off completely. And rear ABS is off. Really don't feel like picking this up or damaging it, so just use the weight of the bike and roll down the hill. Really does suck that the GoPro makes everything look like it's nice and not steep, nice and flat. On a big heavy bike, it doesn't take much for it to gain momentum. Let's have a look here where I'm going to go. Slide the back tyre. That's through the worst of it. Not real big on this this sort of rough stuff on a bike like this. Probably be fun on something small, XR400 or something like that'll be pretty bit fun. Less stuff to brake, less weight to move around, all that sort of stuff. And we're done. And back on the bitumen now. Still can't find the turn off that I was hoping to take to the diggings. I think it might have been that quarry one, but it says no through road. I don't know if they mean that because it's got the river crossing there. Yeah, I'll go through the normal way. This is the river. You can see platypus. I think it's down this way is where you're supposed to see them. Little campground, pretty tiny though. There we go, the diggings. See how good this road is. Been here a couple of times. One time it was really easy, the other time it was a little rough. So there's a campground here along the river. Jesus, come out of nowhere. I wonder if there's anyone camping in here. Don't look like it. There's the water crossing. When you get to the other side, you got to go. You got to keep on it because you go uphill. Doesn't look that deep. Got to get your YouTube thumbnail. So back on the bitumen, we'll head over to the range and start heading back. But I want to have a look at taking the drone off the top of the range if I can find somewhere decent. Looks like I've got some good footage there. I'll see when I get home. Yeah, I'll just head home.